Hi, I'm Mark Wooster. I'm the Chief Investment Officer for Calibre Investment. We often get asked which is the best benchmark for people to use when they're trying to judge how well their investment is performing. So they're normally referring to indices like the NZX 50, the S&P 500, or a bondex like the BarCap Global Aggregate Bond Index. So they're a little bit surprised when we tell them that those really aren't that useful for those purposes. We certainly use them when we're looking at underlying investments in the various markets and the work that Calibre does. But for most investors, they're just not that good. In fact, they're quite poor as a way to judge how your investments are going. And the reason for that is that they tend to overweight overvalued shares and bonds and underweight undervalued shares and bonds, which isn't that logical when you think about it. A lot of them are cap weighted or quite arbitrary. They're driven by the market. Nobody's designing these things. They're just put together in terms of what the market is demanding. So it's quite arbitrary. And with bonds, you can end up overweight to the most indebted countries and companies, which obviously isn't always the best outcome. And one of the big weaknesses is they lack proper diversification, which is often contrary to what people think. Most share indexes or indices are dominated by a few companies at the top, which generate most of the results you see. And they end up with concentrations of risks. A lot of investors found out during the GFC that indexes, even though they had a high number of companies or bonds, had just a few concentrations of drivers or risks. They ended up with what they call clusters of the same risk, which covered a number of companies. And even a number of institutional investors got caught out by that and ended up with some actually quite poor results. So wrapping up, the best way to benchmark is have a plan, then use the objectives in that plan to benchmark how effective your investment portfolio is. It takes a bit of work, but you'll get far better results. And we'll be posting some more videos on how you can achieve that. So stay tuned and stay safe.